Not for protection, for truth. I'd watched enough to know how often she visited alone, how my son arrived later, smiling, unaware of what had already taken place in those rooms. It was the library camera that caught it first, her hand in another man's hair, her lips whispering promises that weren't meant for my son. Then the bedroom, the same bed she would now share with him as his wife. So when he asked for the mansion, I didn't hesitate. I let them walk into the stage I had prepared. Inside, everything was pristine. Clean sheets, chilled champagne, fresh flowers by the bed. The television remote rested on the nightstand, the playlist already cued. They believed I had left them a gift. In a way, I had. Later that night, I sat by the fireplace at home, tea growing cold in my hands. I imagined the moment it would happen, the screen flickering on, the laughter fading into confusion, the images playing, slow, undeniable, her face, her voice, her betrayal. Not rumor, not accusation, proof. I didn't need to see it. I had seen enough already. He called just after midnight. No greeting, just ragged breathing. "What did you do?" My tone was calm. "What did you see?" A pause, static, then a sound, half sob, half disbelief. "Is this real?" "Yes." You ruined me." "No," I whispered. "She did. I just gave you the truth." He tried to speak again, but his voice cracked, collapsing into silence. Then the call ended. I imagined him standing in that room, her wedding dress discarded on the floor, his face reflecting in the dark screen that had just devoured his illusions. She would be crying, reaching for excuses, weaving lies too late to matter. He would look at her the way I once looked at him, searching for the child I'd loved, finding only a stranger. Morning arrived quiet. I poured coffee, watching the pale sun wash over the garden. No calls came after that, no messages, only the slow, heavy silence of things that cannot be undone. I didn't go back to the mansion. I didn't need to. The house had finally served its purpose, to hold the truth until it was ready to be seen. People say revenge burns. They're wrong. It freezes. It stills the heart until there is nothing left but clarity. I didn't ruin my son's marriage. I simply unwrapped it. He built his happiness on deception. She built hers on ambition. And I built my silence into a mirror. They will live in that mansion for the rest of their lives, perhaps. Or maybe they'll leave, unable to bear its walls. But every time they see a screen flicker on, every time a reflection moves where none should, they'll remember. The video, the truth, the night the lights refused to lie. I finished my coffee, locked my phone, and stepped outside. The air was sharp, clean. There was nothing left to reclaim, only peace, the cold kind that comes after the storm. He screamed at his wedding. Now, silence is all he has left, and silence was mine to give. I waited until she laughed again. Her laugh always came first. Then I slid an envelope across the table. "What's this?" she asked. "Proof," I said. Her eyes met mine, calm, curious. Then she unfolded the documents, the DNA results, the letter from Rahim. Her smile didn't fade immediately. It cracked slowly, like porcelain under pressure. Dad reached for it next. His hand trembled. He didn't read long, just one page. Then he placed it down and stared at nothing. "You knew?" she whispered to him. He didn't answer. "Because I did. And that was enough." "Why now?" she asked me finally. "Why bring this up after all these years?" I looked at her, the woman who had raised me, shaped me, broken me. The woman who had built a lie large enough to fit a lifetime inside. "Because," I said quietly, "you finally told the truth. You said I'm not part of this family. You were right." I raised my glass again, the same gesture, the same calm. So consider this official notice. You'll receive no more money, no more support. You can keep the house, the name, the dinners. I'm done." Her face, white as the linen tablecloth. Dad's silence, heavier than the room itself. My sister's tears, confused, misplaced. I stood, straightened my jacket. "You could have told me," I said. "You could have let me live without pretending." I looked at my father, "And you could have told me too. But you both preferred the illusion." I turned to leave. "Where will you go?" Mom asked, her voice cracking. I paused, then smiled, faintly. "Home," I said, "wherever that is." I walked out to the night air, cold, clean, unburdened. Behind me, the house stood silent, full of ghosts choking on their own lies. Family isn't blood, it's truth. And tonight, I finally stopped bleeding for both.